Yes, yes, yes. Everything is my fault. Like really and truly, everything's my fault. So I want to admit something. Something happened. Everything happened, and it's because of my fault. And this is episode number 5 of what I tell myself, and I say this every single day. It's my fault. So purely for business, for anything, if you want to be successful, everything has to be your fault. So even if it seems like it's close to you or further away, if it's too far away, it just means you're not thinking big enough, essentially. So the reason I say that, not you, but if it's too far away, I'm not thinking big enough. Not you. I can't talk about you. You know why? Because it's my fault. It's not your problem. It's my problem. So, and you might notice this. Well, I always say it like that, and because of that is that reason. It's not you. It's me. Because it's my fault. Not your problem. It's my problems. And until I think big enough how to overcome your problems for you, you might think, well, that's petty. Why would you say that? Why would you think everything's your fault? Isn't that like egotistical, so on and so forth? But once you realize something about business, you realize, wait, they done it because it is my fault. They done it because it is their fault. Put it this way, when I don't have any coding experience, right? But I created my website. So if you go to my link in bio, you see the website. Professionally, it looks so professional. But you know what that person does? So what I done is I use website builders. So essentially like a drag and drop tool that allows you to position things and visually build things. You might know it. You can I imagine it was like PowerPoint. You can just drag and drop stuff about, but each shape is a certain so on and so forth. So ultimately, what I can say is this. Well, you got like the shapes and then you got like the text box, so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to say is this. That person who built that visual, that drag and drop thing, actually, let me shout them out. Shogun. Is it Shogun? Yes, it is Shogun. Shogun. I did end up going with Shogun. Is an add-on for Shopify. So I use Shopify. Shopify again. No coding experience. They say, yo, you know how you know what you want to do, right? You know how to make stuff. You know a niche that you want to target. You're a business person, not a computer coder. Let me build this platform for you. You know what? It's not your fault that you're unsuccessful. Like that's it. Like you might. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We always say it's not your fault that you're unsuccessful. It's my fault that you're unsuccessful. And they say this on a large scale to that person in every country. They say it's my fault that you're unsuccessful. So that's why when I'd say these petty, tiny things that is my fault, my fault, my fault. Like God forbid somebody stubs their toe now. It's my fault that they didn't because I thought of this video about 5 minutes. If I started earlier, posted it earlier, somebody might have been watching this video, be seated, and not stub their toe. So ultimately, as long as I don't take it, as long as I take control of it, as long as I take responsibility, ownership, accountability. So responsibility means it's my responsibility. I have to do it. Accountability means, okay, I'm accountable for that. Right or wrong, mistake or success, I done that, essentially. So responsibility again is, yeah, I should do it, something about it. Accountability, whatever outcome, I done that. And you know what you do also as well in successes? You give away success. You give it away, give it to other people. That's what I do personally. That's what I always try to do. Whenever I talk about the designs, I say that person done it, weren't me. I'll go back to it. I say Heidi done it, and I show you how the stuff that she done and how like she took the initiative to do it, and like no like little time she just bang. Her mind is amazing when it comes down to design and like creative stuff. So I say that because what's it gonna do to me? Nothing. Now, what's it gonna do to me? Nothing. But ultimately, I'm accountable for creating the service, so on and so forth, putting it out there, having a vision in place. But the things that I try to be accountable for is the problems. Because again, business is about conveniently going, transactions made by conveniently going where someone would stop. So if someone's gonna stop somewhere, if someone feels like their success is stopping them there, I have to conveniently go there, make it a actual path for them to now continue what they wanted to do, essentially. So when I say, yeah, petty things, your success, the reason why you're not successful is my fault. Certain people will think, well, that's mad. Yo, but when you deep it and you think about it, almost all services is based around that exact thing. If I was selling an information, but actually, let's put it in perspective of freelance uni. The reason why you're not successful is because my fault. How can I say that quite strongly? Well, if you're not known, even if you are excellent at what you do, if you're not known, you can never have the chance to transact as a business. So if you're not known, you don't get the chance to transact as a business. And because you don't have the chance to transact as a business, you don't have the chance to be successful. You don't have the chance to get money in, and if you want to put more money into that money you received into advertisement, if you want to do it to promotions and get more and more known. But regardless, if you're not known, if you can't, if you're not known, then nobody's gonna have the option to even transact with you. Option, like the whole option of you being a good or bad business. You don't even get the option to be a good or bad. You don't even get the option to be a bad business. You are not a business if you don't get the option to transact. If they don't know you, it's not that you're a bad business. Look, please understand this. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm not there yet myself. But if I'm not known as a business, if I'm not known for being able to do something, it's not that I'm a bad business. I'm just not a business, right? Because I can't even engage in sales. I can't even engage in a transaction or a potential lead for a transaction. So that's why what I said is, okay, let me create freelance uni. So now if you have a skill set, so on and so forth, you can now find leads. Leads can find you. You can now have the option to transact, and you can now become a business, a side hustle, so on and so forth. On the contrary to that, or not on the contrary, the flip side to it, or even on the receiving side to the service, there's another person. There's a person that's saying, yo, I want to be me, someone like me, right? But instead of me doing all the hard work and creating a thick service, what I don't necessarily like to do, or so on and so forth, I can find somebody at my university who's local to me. That's the thing about freelance uni. Local. Yes, you might say you want a photographers and models for your clothing brand. But if you're going to any other, again, I respect those other services, Upwork, freelancer, so on and so people per hour. I respect them, I like them. They do things what I'm talking about. I love businesses. But one thing you don't necessarily get the convenience of is the condensed 30,000 students in one location, a mile apart, not Ukraine, India, Jamaica, USA, delegation all over the world. Beautiful system, and it's beautiful for what it needs to do. But when you need those close proximity, model needs to meet photographer, needs to meet me with the clothes, university provides that location based proximity. Well, proximity. That location based niche, essentially. What is it called? It selling point. The location point. But you know what I mean. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is the fact that somebody wants to be like me now and wants to create a whole service like this. The reason why they're not going to be successful is because they can't code. No, the reason why they're not successful is because they don't know somebody that can code. And university doesn't help you to find anybody on the specific course, let alone who wants to do it. I'm telling you who wants to do it, let alone trying to send a mass email out. They don't even let you send a mass email out to ask, yo, who wants to get involved in this project? Nope, don't work like that. So that's why when I say what I'm creating is for this, it's because what I'm creating is for this. It's so that I take it upon myself to say, the reason why you're not successful is because of me. And you know why? Because I haven't done anything more so that this business, well, right now I'm revising for my exams. And that's my fault again. You could have been closer towards success if I just didn't do my exams. And it is an option. Everything is an option. Like, it is an option, really and truly. But for the longevity of it, I don't think, and that's what I've taken upon myself, I think it's best to put myself in a position to make sure that I am in university next year. So even if I can connect two people right now, the longevity of it coming September when I'm not in university and my impact's not that great anymore, then if I wasn't in university and my impact wouldn't be as great, then it wouldn't have been the longevity best thing to do for the people that I seek to help, the people that I seek to take their problems upon my shoulders. So when I say everything is my fault, everything is my fault. You want to know one thing? A fact, if it's not my fault, nothing can happen. If it's not my fault, nothing changes. The only thing that I can safely say that it wasn't my problem is before I'm born, before I was conceived. Up until then, I should have been a smarter baby so that I could have done something else. I should have started to talk earlier. I should have done this earlier. I should have done there up until I was conscious. Everything is my fault. Had to be my fault. I maybe not. I didn't get to think like that up until recently, as in up until I started about 2 years ago. I started now everything's being my fault. More and more things are being my fault. But ultimately, if I don't think like that, if I don't think like that from here on outwards, oh, I can't make money. It's not my fault. It's because my job. Well, if it's because your job, then you're not gonna be able to do anything about it because you're not you're not the job. How can you do anything about it? Like anything. And I say I'm petty with taking responsibility, as in I'm petty with you'll stand there thinking I'm dumb, like, yo, it's clearly not your fault. Nah, gee, it's my fault. And I will explain to you in a genuine way, because I need to think big enough to make it my problem. The moment it's my problem is the moment I can do something about it. So I need to think genuine about how I could have done something about it. So when I said you could have stubbed your toe, I could have made this shorter video, uploaded it earlier, and another person wouldn't have stubbed their toe. Simple. But I wanted to go further. And I chose to go further. I chose to let that person stub their toe. And another person let them stub their toe. I chose to do this. But ultimately, that's when I say everything's my fault. Because if it's not my fault, I can't change it. As I said, again, I really want you to understand why I think like this. You really can't change anything that's not your fault. You definitely, I definitely, I definitely can't change anything that's not my fault. Somebody else can take that from you, take that problem that is not your fault and solve it for you. Your boss could think, okay, you know what? I see that you ain't getting money and I can change it for you because it's my fault. The moment somebody takes ownership, accountability, and responsibility for it, the boss said, okay, I see your position, so on and so forth. Let me do something about it, increase your pay. Now you're making more money. But that's predicated on your boss. And you didn't get to do anything about it. Unless you spoke to your boss, then he done that. Then you took it upon yourself, and it is your fault that you realize, saying it or not, that even if you blame that on your boss, it is your fault, and you realize that if you didn't speak about it to your boss, then you would never get an increase. So you realize that you not speaking is your fault, and right or not, conscious or subconsciously, that is exactly what happened. So you can take it further, bigger, however you want to think. But I think large, and I'll make everything my fault. If you want to make some more things my fault, please tell me what your problems are. Please. Because I want that problem to be in my life so that I can solve it. And when you're solving problems for other people, that's where transactions are made. Take whatever value from it. I told you, I might take capital from it. I might ask for money from it. More than likely. I might ask for you to just be a loyal person to me and please promote my next thing. Or so on and so forth. But ultimately, reap value, 4 pillars of actionable value for what you do. Again, the 4 pillars of action. Wait, how long? Wow, 14 minutes. YouTube. But again, the 4 pillars of actionable value was based around actionable. Actionable is the word about taking responsibility again. Not actionable. No, actionable is the word about something that can be done about it. An action-based thing. Something that that's practical and can be done. practical, actionable, something that can be done. So when I say the 4 pillars of actionable value, I'm talking about values that the more you increase it and the more it is increased and in relation to what it needs to do, in relations to what it needs to do. So if I increase my influence, if I increase my influence, yes, I can get many followers, but if my followers are not my target audience, then the value isn't necessarily going to be the best. The value isn't going to be so on and so forth. If I have many followers, and if your influence, whatever the reason we're influenced, the reason for the influence, and how much influence you have over me now differs. However, that is set up now. Essentially this. Grant Cardone, I'm following Grant Cardone and I'm following a bag of meme pages. If Grant Cardone told me to buy something, I'm more than likely to buy it. If a meme page told me to buy something, I might not buy it. We're still in the same, there's still an influence over me, but essentially the setup and the influence that person has over me differs. So I'm still the same customer. I'm still the same person in the influence, back and forth. But ultimately, however it's set up is a massive thing. So that's why when I talk about the 4 pillars of actionable value, I've made sure that I had a way to measure, engage, and think about how I can take action towards making your problems my problem. So that's why when I thought about other things, all my other services, I think, okay, now, yeah, I can't just say I don't have the money, I don't, so on and so forth. It's never going to work because of X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. What is X, Y, Z that I need so that I can be successful? What's X, Y, Z that I need so that I can take it in my own hands? Not just say, not so I can take it in my own hands. Not okay. And the one thing I want to say, taking it in my own hands doesn't mean I've done it alone at all. Taking it into my own hands means I increase the chances based on something that makes sense, based on actions that make sense, based on actions that more than likely, if recreated, will create the same result. And I done those things in order to be successful. Influence. I'm making sure that I'm increasing my level of influence, increasing the amount of people I know, increasing the amount of the way how we interact, the reason why you interact, the ratings that you have for me, the respect that you have for me, increasing that so that now when you look at it, now when I do come out of my service, I have a greater target audience that's already there, prepared, ready for me for my next project. So that's what FreelancedUni is for. It's increased my level of influence over more so than just a level of capital. I'm still gonna need capital because again, I'm not gonna be relying on everything like a charity. I don't want to rely on everything like a charity or for government grant or for the university to roll around and say, yeah, I like your idea, now we should do something about it. No, I don't want to rely on that. I want to rely on being a self-sustaining business that people pay for because it's a service that they like. It conveniently get them where they need to get to. So essentially, that's that part there as well. The experience now. I'm increasing my level of experience because I understand if I don't know how to do it, it don't matter if I don't. It's either I need to know how to do it or somebody in my influence needs to know how to do it. But also, I need to know how to do certain things. If I don't know how to do certain things, then I'm not going to be well suited for the position that I'm going for. So there's many things that I'm actively putting myself into so that I can just increase my influence. I've actively put myself on camera so that I know how to, no, so I experience, so that I know how to speak experience. There's things that I do in my ministry so that I can actively build my confidence, so on and so forth. To speak in places, going up to people, doing this, so on and so forth. Building a team. I'm actively building a team in this service, not because it has to be. Yeah, everything's better with a team that's optimized for its size. Read the Lean Startup, I think it is, or Blue Ocean. One of those two. I should read those both. But I'm not telling you to read it. I've read it and I like it. But um, when it's optimized for the team size, when you have optimized team sizes, you know how it works best. But the thing is, if I don't, I can read all about it, yeah, but unless you've experienced it and know how you work and what position, like, do you take on more than, are you worth two people? Are you worth for half a person? Do you actually just prefer to manage and then have the right amount of people in a team? Where do you lie? What's best for you? If I don't do it, if I don't have the experience, it don't matter how much I've read about it. I don't know how to do it. Then when I go off with the money that I have and so on and so. Say for instance, I've raised the capital, again the capital to start a business, and it's my next project. It's gonna cost millions. It's going to. It has to. I understand that. But ultimately, even if I did raise that money, if I'm not suited for leading a team, if I don't know what a perfect team size should feel like, if I don't know what it feels like and how to lead it and actually propagate it and delegate the work properly, then boy, I'm gonna have to learn, and it's not gonna be through books. Books will give me ideas, knowledge will give me ideas. So when a problem arises, it's not really a. I'll just think of another way to try another thing, but it won't necessarily be the experience saying this is the right thing. So that's why another thing is that's my knowledge, experience, both of those things I just said, increase my knowledge. So now, again, as I just said, see, I'm speaking about these things knowing that it's actionable. Everything I said then led to another action that then leads to success. The more I read, the more ideas I have. The more ideas I have backed with my experience, that means I can get it done. How would I get it done? Would it be me doing it with my experience, or would it be me? Would it be me delegating it to somebody through my influence? And once I do that, give it to my influence. How do I reward them? I pay them capital. Problem arises again. Idea. Do I do it myself? I do it myself. Why? Because I've built my experience and I know how to do it. Cool. Problem arises. Idea through my knowledge. Increase my knowledge and always have an idea around it. I think about 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the best idea is. Go forward with it. Cool. Now I want it to delegate it because I don't want to deal with this problem. Problem goes to the next person in my influence that I also have experience knowing how to do it. I have influence over that person. It's not just based around money that me just pay them, but they respect me. They want to do a good job for me because I always want to repay and do good for them. I want to put them in better positions. I want to do these things. And I want to build a relationship with people. Influence, increasing that. Then, because of all that, I'm getting a better service. And what I will do is, I will pay them capital. 4 pillars of actionable value. And that is why I'm building this, because it makes sense to me personally. I'm not saying it for everyone, but for what needs to happen, that's what's going to need to happen. I'm going to need to actively be able to say, yes, I'm going to be successful. And I'm going to need to then say, yeah, it's because I know what to do. Yes, because I have the value to enable it to happen. Increasing my level of value to match my level of sentiment. Whatever I want my sentiment to be. If I want to create a certain business, what am I sentimental in? Do I want to pay people high? Do I want to pay people good? If I want to pay people good, that's my sentiment. I need to increase my level of capital, my value, capital. If I want to treat people nice, if I want to have my sentiments just to have like a family friendly, like a family team, I need to increase my level of influence, know how to lead and also be successful in business. It's not just being about friends, but having that good ethos that people do want to come to work for you, but they have that respect level that they want to get things done for you. They understand the what the business wants to achieve and they want to be a part of it. It's not just about being friendly. Yeah, people can be friendly, but they're not necessarily going to work for you. So understanding that, increase my knowledge to then know how to do that, to then know how to influence people in that direction, know how to do it through my experience, so on and so forth. But ultimately, it's not just about reading, it's about putting into practice. Putting into practice means experience. Now, when I do it, the cycle just completes. It just flows between each other. It just flows between each other. But that's how I feel personally. Again, everything's my fault. God.